Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also, share the videos. I want to thank everyone who does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there. Follow me across all my social media. Talk to me because I talk back. Also has the links down there as well to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Justin Fields. Yes, we're going to be talking about Justin Fields because there's quite a bit to talk about. The New York Jets have been linked to him. There's been a lot of people talking about the Jets being interested in signing Justin Fields and bringing him into the building. Okay, we're going to be talking about the Jets quarterback options as well. We're going to be talking about some guys in the draft that could end up, possibly becoming Jets too. All right, and so please comment down below. Give me your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already, and give the video a thumbs up. So let's get into it, all right? As we know, okay, the Jets have moved on from Aaron Rodgers. That ship has sailed. It is done, said, and done. The Jets are moving forward, all right? Now, currently on the Jets roster, when we talk about quarterbacks, is Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's still here, all right? He's going to be here throughout the year. He signed up. There's a lot of people looking at him as an option to be the New York Jets quarterback this upcoming year. A lot of people saying, hey, why don't we just start Tyrod Taylor? That could possibly happen. We've seen him, start for teams in the past. He's a quality guy. He can come in here and handle business, and he's a veteran. So we'll see. I don't think that that's going to be the only, other guy that could possibly start for the Jets on this upcoming, roster this year. But he's definitely going to be here, and he is a valid option. Jordan Travis is a guy that a lot of people are talking about. Jordan Travis has done nothing since he's been here, okay? And a lot of people saying he's, there's a lot of talk about him coming back from the injury, that he's going to get his chance this year. Some people think he's going to be a game changer. He's never done anything here with the New York Jets. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do and what he's available to do. But even still, even if Jordan Travis had been fully healthy since we drafted him, right? He still had a lot of work to do to even be thought about as possibly being a starter for the New York Jets. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see Jordan Travis, this upcoming season, do something. But to this point, he's still recovering from that injury. He had some setbacks, and we'll see what happens with him going forward. Now, Justin Fields is a realistic option for the New York Jets when we're talking about free agency coming up. Again, Monday, legal tampering period for the NFL, all right, free agency. You're going to start seeing teams talking left and right, okay? Justin Fields has been talked about as being a guy that the Jets are absolutely targeting to get into the building, all right? Listen, Justin Fields in 2021 was drafted by the Bears. Things just did not work out there. There's been a lot of talk about whatever went on with the Bears. Coaching failed him, all kind of things. Well, he ended up going to the Steelers, right, in 2024 after, getting out of the Bears situation. And they started him, and he went 4-2 as a starter with the Steelers, okay? He threw for over 1,100 yards, had 5 touchdowns throwing the football, and threw for 1 interception. But one of the things, outside of the fact that I think, again, if you put Justin in the right situation, he gets more refined as a passer. One of the things that he adds, right, the element that he adds is his ability to move, okay? This guy can run. This guy can take off. He can utilize his feet and get outside the pocket and make things happen. He ran for 289 yards in those 6 starts. He had 5 touchdowns running the ball. When you add Justin Fields to your situation, he opens up the playbook. RPOs, QB keepers, all kind of things. It completely throws the defense off. They don't know what to deal with. They don't know what to do. So, again, this isn't the greatest free agency class either when we're talking about quarterbacks, right? But I think Justin Fields is a solid option for the New York Jets. Other names that have been linked to the Jets, oh my goodness, when we're talking about free agent NFL quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota, Carson Wentz, and if one more Jets fan talks to me about Kirk Cousins, like come on. Please stop talking to me about Kirk Cousins. Please stop. He stinks. All right? I know that there's a lot of talk about Sam Darnold. I do not think that there's any reality where Sam Darnold wants to come back to the New York Jets. I think he's good. Okay, I don't think that's a realistic possibility at all. The way that Sam, was dealt with here, his exit, and then all the shenanigans the Jets fans just hurled at him, even though he wasn't. I don't think he wants to have anything to do with the Jets franchise at all. I think he's going to find his way. But, those are the options there in free agency. And again, when you look at Justin Fields, he's a guy that went to a spot and sometimes it just doesn't work out that first time. We talked about Sam Darnold just a second ago, right? Sam Darnold was here with the Jets. We all thought that he was going to be our franchise guy for years to come. The Jets failed him, never got him properly protected, never gave him enough weapons offensively, sent him to Carolina. Things, didn't really go well there. He ended up moving on, ended up with the Vikings, and then guess what? Took the Vikings to the playoffs and lit the league up last year. Like, really handled business. And we'll see what the future holds with him. There's a lot of talk that maybe he goes back to the Vikings, but there's a host of other teams that are going to be interested in him. Look at Geno Smith. Geno Smith was a Jet. We ended up moving on from him, right? After drafting him, tried to, get something going, didn't work out. He ends up going to the Seahawks later on in his career, and hey, he was able to put some things together there, right? And now he's been traded to the Raiders, but he was a Seahawks franchise guy, and he's going to the Raiders. Probably going to be their starting quarterback going forward. We'll see. So it's going to be very interesting, but I think Justin Fields is a realistic option for the New York Jets at quarterback, and I absolutely think they're going to go after him and try to seal the deal and bring him into the Jets facility. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not against that at all. Another option for the New York Jets at quarterback, you've got to look at the draft, right? And you look at the draft, this is crazy. You need a quarterback. This is not the year because this is not a strong QB, class at all this year with the draft, right? Cam Ward, up and away, is regarded as the number one guy, even though some people have questions about him. Right now, the New York Jets are at 7. There's a lot of talk about the Jets moving up to draft him. It's going to take a lot of capital to do that, okay? I don't know if the Jets are going to want to do that, all right? Last time we saw that, like in recent history, you look at the packages, Carolina gave up a lot to move up to get to get Bryce Young. It was a lot. DJ Moore, they gave up 2023 first rounder. They gave up the second rounder from 2023 as well. Gave up a 2024 first rounder, and they gave up a second rounder from 2025. I don't know if the Jets are going to want to do that. I don't know if they're going to give up a package like that, okay? Because if you're wrong about him, right? If you're wrong, oh baby, it's going to cost you your job. Unless you think that Cam Ward is Jaden Daniels. If you think that he's Jaden Daniels-esque and he's going to come in and day one just take over and handle business, I could see you making that move if you think that. But unless you think that, baby, you make that move and you're wrong, Moog and Glenn, y'all gonna get fired. If you're wrong about Cam and you make that move, you're gonna get fired. But if you believe that he is that guy, it's kind of hard to argue about that, man. Kind of hard to argue about a guy that you believe is going to be able to come in and change your franchise like Daniels has changed that franchise there in Washington. But I just don't think that they're going to make that move. And also, you're going to be battling other teams to move up because, again, this is a very weak QB class. So the teams that need a quarterback are even more thirsty now, right? The Giants are one of the teams that are thirsty. Now, currently, the Giants are sitting with the 3rd pick in the first round. The Jets are at the 7th pick in the first round. The Giants, according to rumors and reports, right, by very credible sources, are looking to move up and have had discussions with Tennessee to move up consistently. There was also, talks about the Raiders being suspected as a team that wanted to move up as well. They're sitting at 6 ahead of the Jets. They just made a move for Geno Smith. So I don't know if that's still a realistic possibility for them. But there's constantly talks about teams wanting to move up to grab Cam Ward, him being the apple of a lot of people's eyes. Now, I'll tell you what, Shedeur Sanders, the second guy, right? There's been talks about him sliding down the board. I remember people saying he'd go in the top 3 or top 5. Now there's a lot of people saying he could slide down to 7 where the Jets are. Ever since the combine, a lot of things have flipped. Now, there was also a report put out by Josina Anderson. Salutes and respect to her as well. Very good reporter. She came out and said some things, and it seemed like she was talking about the New York Jets. She said there was a team, okay, in the top 10 Jets with that had, talked with Shedeur Sanders, and he came off arrogant and various other things that they were kind of turned off by him, that the coach that talked to him was turned off by him. And she also kind of said that the coach was black. Now, I'll tell you what. The Jets are picking in the top 10. Charles London is the New York Jets quarterback coach. He's very black. So a lot of people looked around and went, wait a minute, is she talking about the Jets? Now, it hasn't been confirmed nor denied if it is the New York Jets, but the tweets and the things that were said seem to lead that it was Charles London of the New York Jets that, believes that Shedeur Sanders is arrogant and things, kind of rubbed him the wrong way. So, whatever, right? But if Shedeur Sanders is there at 7, guess what? I think the New York Jets should take him. I wouldn't be against it, okay? But even with him, there's a lot of people that say, day 1 starter? No, he's going to need some time. So, we'll see. But if you take Shedeur at 7, I will not be upset about that. I think he's a guy that can come in and handle business. He's also a guy that mentally, I think, is going to be prepared as well. This is a guy that grew up basically in the NFL. Deion Sanders is his father. He has connections with a bunch of other NFL players. He's been around this league for so long. All the things that would detour a young quarterback as far as mindset or not being prepared or not knowing how to shut out all the noise, I don't think it's going to bother him because he's grown up in this noise. like this noise, he was molded by it. it engulfed him. I don't think nothing that you can kind of throw at him from the NFL level, the outside noise and the media. I don't think it would break him or bother him whatsoever. But it's just the stuff on the field, of course, that he'd have to get up to speed on. But he's a guy that I wouldn't be upset with the New York Jets taking. Now there are some other options as well in the draft for the New York Jets. After those 2 guys, but I think it would be much later, bottom of the first. We're talking second, third round guys. Jackson Dart being a guy that really has jumped up the board from Ole Miss. Look, this was a guy I remember people were saying would go in the middle of the second round, maybe top of the third at the most. He is now talked about as a guy that's going, bottom of the first, mid first round. Ever since the Senior Bowl, his stock just shot up. Okay, and he's a guy that can do some things, but day 1 starter, no, I don't think anyone thinks he's a day 1 starter. He's going to need some time as well. There's also Ewers from Texas. A lot of people like him too. McCord from Syracuse. I've heard people talk about him, but I'll tell you what, if I'm the New York Jets and I land Justin Fields and I got Tyrod Taylor and whatever happens with Jordan Travis, right? Jalen Milroe from Bama is a guy that is so intriguing. Right? If you can take him and sit him on the bench, the playmaking ability that he harnesses is unbelievable. This guy can move, he can make plays. His technique just needs to be refined. He needs work, okay? He needs work on his technique, and he also needs work on recognizing defenses a lot better. But if you have the time to sit him down and really mold him within the system and be able to, continue to push him and progress him through these situations, bro, he's a guy that maybe in a year, you put him out on that field and he'll be able to really dice up defenses with what he's going to be able to bring to the table. Because again, the elements that he can bring to your offense just absolutely open the playbook up like crazy. And there's another guy that some people are talking about, but not a lot of people are talking about, that I'm very intrigued by, that I think could be a steal. Will Howard from Ohio State. I don't know, man. I don't think he's a day 1 starter either. But over 4,000 yards, 42 TDs, and 10 interceptions. You get him in the right spot. And I think that this is a guy that can really make some things happen at the quarterback position. He's going to need time. Not a day 1 starter. Not a day 1 starter. But he's a guy, if you sit him for a year, maybe 2, He's a guy that can come in and do some things for your football team. Maybe if you give him some time to get up to speed with things. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about the possibility of Justin Fields being a New York Jet? What are your thoughts about the draft and the idea of the New York Jets trading up for Cam Ward? How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts about Shedeur Sanders at 7? If he's there, would you take him? What are your thoughts about other quarterbacks? Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.